Hi, my name is Margarita and welcome to our lead rescuer training video. So thank you all so much for signing up to become lead rescuers. We're really excited to have you on board and we're looking forward to having you take over some of our food rescue events. So this training video is to go over some of the basic things that you'll need to know as a lead rescuer and also just some situations that you might come across while you are volunteering with us. So first I want to say thank you so much for becoming a lead rescuer. Lead rescuers are the foundation of our organization, and without you guys we would not exist. So thank you so much for becoming a lead rescuer, and we really hope that you enjoy your time with us. So I want to talk to you guys about things that you should know during your rescue events, whether it's pre-delivery, during the event, or afterwards. So the first thing is just pre-delivery. So this is before the start of the event. So before the start of the event, you will already be signed up for your event online because you will be able to choose which event you want to do. But the volunteers will be able to contact you, but preferably you contact the volunteers. So about 3 hours before the start of the event, you will receive an attendance email with the names and the phone numbers of the volunteers that signed up for your event. And all you have to do is contact them. Whether you text them or you call them, whatever you prefer, just as long as you let them know where it is you're picking up the food, what time you'll be meeting, and where you'll be meeting, then all of that information is what the volunteer needs to know. So always make sure to contact the volunteer at least an hour before the start of the event, if not sooner, just so that the volunteer isn't confused on where to go, what to do once they get there. And this is an example text that you can send to the volunteer. It just, again, confirms the time, the location, and the meeting place for the event. And then whenever you're meeting with the volunteers, always make sure to shake their hands, ask their names, all of the formalities, and then also ask them if it is their first time volunteering with us, because if it is, we do need to go through a small orientation speech, which just consists of who we are, what we do, and a few rules that we have. But later in this video, one of my colleagues will go through the orientation speech and what exactly it entails. The next thing that I want to talk to you guys about is just during the delivery. So during delivery, there are some times that a lot of things can go wrong. So the first thing that we see very often is just that there's just way too much food and it's just you there, or the bags are breaking, the containers are leaking. A lot of different things can happen while you're on your event. So in the case that the bags are breaking or the containers are leaking, if you're still at the restaurant, you can always just ask them for more materials. So these materials are there for you to use, and you can also ask the employees there for help. They're very grateful that you pick up the food every night, so they're willing to help you as much as possible. If you are not anywhere near the restaurant and you're near somewhere where you can buy something that you need, then definitely just go ahead and make sure to keep the receipt, and you can email it to us and we will reimburse you for it. The other thing that we see commonly is just that there's just way too much food to pick up and it's just you on the event. So in that case, we do have carts that are locked up around the city, and those carts are available to the lead rescuers to use whenever it is needed. The carts are locked up at various different points throughout the city, and all you really need to do is contact us in order for us to let you know where those carts are. But the carts will be talked about more in detail later in this video as well. In the case that there is no cart and it's just you on the event and there is way too much food to carry, then we do ask you to just take a cab, and always make sure to keep the receipt, and you can email it to us and we will reimburse you for it. Whenever you're taking a cab, always make sure to let the driver know that you have food, and always make sure that the food is properly packaged so that there are no spills or leaks in the car. So the other situation that we come across is when you're trying to drop off the food and the human service agency either is not open or they're telling you that they can't take all of the food. So in that situation, there are a few things that need to happen. The first thing is that you need to let us know so that we can help you find the next closest place to drop off, and we can also let every other volunteer that is supposed to drop off there later in the day know that they cannot go there and they need to drop off somewhere else. So when that happens, please contact us immediately and let us know that they are not able to accept the food. And then we will be able to let you know what is the next closest place to drop off the food. In the case that we're not answering you and you have no idea where to drop off the food, we always ask you to remember 2 places. The first one is the New York City Rescue Mission, and the second one is the Barre Mission. Those 2 places are the biggest that we work with, and they are open 24/7, so they will most likely always take the food that you want to drop off. The addresses to both of these places can be found in the Lead Rescuer Guide, and if you have any questions about that, please feel free to reach out to us as well. The next thing that I want to speak to you guys about is just being a leader. So you are a lead rescuer and you will be leading groups of volunteers. So on average, our groups are about 2 to 5 people, but the maximum amount of people that can be on an event is about 20. So those events are usually reserved for like corporate groups or student groups that all want to do an event together. But whether you have a group of 5 people or a group of 30 people, always make sure to keep engaging them throughout the event. So just basically make small talk with them, ask them if they've ever heard about the organizations like this in the past, or how they heard about RLC in general, or if they've ever volunteered with organizations like this in the past. There are also some statistics that we always ask you to mention to the volunteers, and the first one is just how much food is wasted as a percentage each year in America. So I'll let you guys think about that question, and it will be explained later on in this video. So another thing with being a leader is just to make sure that you are able to have the volunteers keep up with you. Always make sure that you're not walking ahead of the volunteers and that you're actually just with the entire group. If you do have a large group of volunteers, always make sure to stop, let everyone catch up, and then you can go on with the event. Please make sure to not lose anyone. It hasn't happened yet, but we don't want anyone to get lost during any of our events. So the next thing that I want to talk to you guys about is being communicative. So this is just basically us letting you know that whatever you need to let us know or whatever you want us to know, we're definitely here to listen to everything, and we are definitely making sure that we're working on everything you're telling us about. We always want to make this the best experience for you as possible, so definitely let us know of any situations or any problems that you're having with the partners or the human service agencies. If it's anything to do with any other volunteers, definitely let us know. We never want you guys to have to deal with those problems. If you ever can't make it to your event, definitely let us know so that we can find someone to cover the event for you as soon as possible. Whether you're able to make it or not, we definitely need to make sure that there is someone there to pick up the food so that it doesn't go to waste. So if you're not able to make it, there are a few things that you need to do. The first thing is that you need to email us at leadrescuers@rescuingleftovercuisine.org and just include the time of the event, the date of the event, and the pickup location. Also include the link to your event and make sure to cancel yourself from the event so that someone else can sign themselves up as a lead rescuer if you're not able to make it. We also love hearing from our volunteers. We want to make sure that everything is going great. And if you come across any stories or anything that you want to share with us, then definitely please do so. We love hearing stories from our lead rescuers, and we also love sharing those with all of the other lead rescuers and on our social media posts. So if you have anything that you come across while you're either picking up from the restaurant partner or if you're dropping off at the human service agency, then definitely let us know. We love hearing all of those stories, and we want everyone else to know about the impact that you guys are making while volunteering with us. And if there's also any other situations or anything that you think that can make your event better, then definitely let us know. We always want to work on things to make this easier for you. So if you have any suggestions on how to make your events better or how to make things better in general, then definitely let us know, and you can just email those to us, and we will definitely work on that. And the last thing that I want to talk to you guys about is post-delivery. So this is just after the event. So after the event, always make sure to thank the volunteers for coming out and letting them know that their help is crucial in what we do. If they have any questions, please feel free to answer them. If there are any questions that you can't answer, then you can just direct them to us, and we will answer all of their questions. After the event, always make sure that you let them know where the subway stations are if they have any questions about that. And always make sure to let them know about several different opportunities that we have here at RLC, but most of all, just that they can volunteer with us again, and just encourage them to do so. And that is pretty much it for what I want to speak to you guys about. The next thing after this is just the receipts, which my colleague Amanda will speak to you guys about. Well, hopefully you guys learned a lot from this part of the video, and hopefully you'll learn a lot more throughout this entire video. Thank you guys so much again for becoming Lead Rescuer.
Hey y'all, I'm Amanda, and I'm the office manager here at Rescuing Leftover Cuisine, and I'm here to tell you all about our donation receipts, why they're important, what we need them for, and how to finish your event online with them. So, our donation receipts are really important for a variety of reasons. First, for RLC is so that we can have a detailed record of all of our pickups that happened, how many pounds of food were rescued, and that's how we keep track of our yearly pound amount and our weekly and monthly pound amounts that we rescue. And also so that we can thank our volunteers and you, our lead rescuers, and let you know how many pounds of food that you rescue every time you go on an event. Receipts are also really important for our partner donors because they want to see how much food they're giving and what kind of impact they're having in our community. And it helps them when they go to do their enhanced tax deductions. And so that we can tell them every week or every month how many pounds of food they rescued and how many meals that served to people in our community. When you go to a delivery location, they'll have a receipt for you. Some places, like New York City Rescue Mission or Bowery Mission, will have a special receipt that looks like this, and they'll give you a yellow copy of it. But a lot of our delivery locations will have something different. They will actually have an RLC specific donation receipt. If they don't have one of those, then we want you to use just a blank piece of paper or a sticky note or a napkin or whatever you can find to write down the same information on that. And the reason we want you to do that is so that we can have 100% of our events finished with written receipts that are signed by the delivery location. So, on the receipt, you will put the date and time that you dropped off the food. You'll write down the event code, which will be on the instruction sheets and also in the event title online of the event that you are leading. You'll put in the number of pounds based on your best guess. New York City Rescue Mission has a scale, and some of our other delivery locations also have scales, so you will have the most accurate pound number for those, but you can just write down the pounds based on your best guess, your best approximation. Then you'll also write down the name of the delivery location. You'll write your name where it says lead rescuer, and then you will ask the person that received the food to sign the receipt so that we know 100% that this food was given to the delivery location. So, once you have that receipt and the event is over, we need you to finish the event online. So, to do that, you'll go to the website and go to your event and you'll click Finish It. If you went to your pickup and the restaurant or office didn't have any food for you to pick up, you'll still finish the event online. You'll just put in 0 for the number of pounds, put in the event code, and then finish it. And that's it. And that's all that we need you to do. But if you do have a receipt, then you will do the same process. So you'll go to the event online, and where you go to finish it, you'll put in the number of pounds, the event code, and then you'll upload a picture of the donation receipt into the spot where it asks you for a receipt. And then you finish it, it's done online, everything's great. If you don't finish the event within 2 hours, then you will receive a text message just to remind you that you need to finish the event online. After that, you'll receive an email every 8 hours reminding you to finish the event online, because finishing the event online with a fully filled out donation receipt is very, very important to us. And if you don't want to get an email every 8 hours reminding you to do this, try to finish your event online as soon as you can. Take a picture of the receipt and you can actually upload it on your phone to our website. But if you need to wait till you're at a computer, you can do that as well. And that is it for donation receipts.
Hi guys, my name is Leah, and today I'm going to give you some tips on how to lead volunteers that show up to your food rescue events. sometimes you'll have old volunteers who have already volunteered with ROC before show up, and sometimes you'll have new volunteers. So especially when you have at least one new volunteers, you should definitely go over these things with them. So the first thing is you should tell them about RLC and what we do. So RLC is a food rescue organization, and the way we rescue food is we bring food from restaurants and offices and deliver them on foot to human services agencies where the food is served. And the new volunteers should already receive this information in their instruction, but you can also let them know where we're picking up food from, the amount of food that usually will be there, and where the food is being dropped off, and how long the walk is, just to help them be prepared. And after you let them know these information, you should let them know the 2 important rules we have as well, which is never take any of the food. Any amount that volunteers take is something less for the people who are actually hungry. And then the second rule is food safety. So that means if the volunteer is sick, they should definitely go home in case they contaminate the food. If they are intoxicated, they should definitely go home because they might not be able to treat the food with care. And if they are healthy and well, then they should go above and beyond to make sure that the food is safe. Finally, either during or after the event, you want to encourage your volunteers to continuing volunteering with RLC. So the easiest way to get them to do this is to invite them to join you on the same food rescue event the following week. You can also ask them to sign up for more volunteer events on the website, or you can tell them to become a lead rescuer like you. And when you ask them to become a lead rescuer, you can explain to them what this position is, which is simply take charge of one food rescue event per week and lead other new volunteers on the event. And if they are really committed, you can also ask them to become a co-rescuer who lead 5 food rescue events per week. And because they are leading 5 events per week, we are sending them a stipend of $55 each month to help with their traveling cost. And for the most committed rescuers, we encourage them to become a rescue associate and commit to rescuing at least 10 events with us per week. And for this position, because of the rescuer commitments, we are paying them $8 per event. So that's everything. Thank you so much for becoming a lead rescuers. I hope the tips are helpful for you to lead the events and enjoy your food rescue experience.
Hi, my name is Robert Lee. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Rescuing Leftover Cuisine, and I'm going to be telling you guys about the carts. The carts are an essential piece of equipment for all the lead rescuers like you guys. And so it allows us to basically do pickups that are much larger and that would normally require a cab or a large group, but is there as a resource for us to use if the large group cancels or if you're able to do it without the cab. And the carts are really important, not just for that, but also so that you don't have to kill yourself trying to rescue all this food by yourself. Now, in order to ensure that the carts are a shared resource across the large group of lead rescuers like you, and make the most effective use out of them, we've locked them across the city, and using numerical locks, numerical code locks, that allow you to basically access them whenever you need them. You can talk to the community outreach director to get the location and the cart lock code to ensure that you know where they are whenever you need them. But when you go to the location and you go to the place to unlock the cart and use food pickups, sometimes there are cases where the cart is just gone. It also gets lost, and it also gets just completely taken advantage of or stolen, that kind of stuff. And so in order to minimize all that, we wanted to ensure that we have some guidelines so that you can go to the cart location and reasonably expect the cart to be there. So the number one thing is always bring the cart back to where you found it. Because it may be convenient for you to lock it up somewhere else, or if you need to go somewhere. But unfortunately, there are many lead rescuers using that same cart across the same day. And if you don't bring it back to the same location, someone after you may not be able to use it. So always bring it back to the same location after you do that pickup. In some cases, when the cart is gone, you're going to have to do the pickup, and at the end of the day, that's most important, right? Getting the people that need the food that's being donated. And the carts are a tool to help us do that. But if the carts are not there, we encourage you to use a cab or recruit some friends and volunteers to do the pickup with you. Now, with that, I also want to show you guys how to properly lock up a cart so that it's not going to be run over or kicked or damaged in any way. Now, with any of these carts, when you lock them up at the bike rack, always make sure that you're on the side of the street that's the pedestrian side, not the car side, so that if the cart kind of tends to slide or gets knocked in a way that it causes it to move, it doesn't get run over. It doesn't get knocked off the curb and flattened. So that's the first thing you should remember. After you have it up against the bike rack, make sure the black tab is on, if the black tab is still there on the cart, so that the cart doesn't unfold. And then bring your lock around through the bike rack and the cart, crisscross through the cart, and go around and lock it on top of the cart. What this allows us to do is it basically creates enough tightness to ensure that there's no slack, so the cart doesn't slide and get on the floor or things like that. Even if it is knocked, I mean, obviously this is New York City, so all kinds of things happen. But yeah, that's the best way to lock up the cart to ensure that you don't get left with an empty bike rack when you go and find a cart. So thank you. So there's going to be times when we're going to be filming, and there are going to be requests that are going to come from our office, the RLC offices, from your community outreach director. And when that happens, it's going to be completely fine. We're going to have to make sure that all of the permissions are received from restaurants, from the homeless shelters, from the volunteers, yourself. And of course, if you're not okay with being filmed on our pickups, definitely let us know. It's not a requirement. You can opt out. But there's also going to be requests from random places, from the field. And unfortunately, they're not going to be doing the same due diligence of making sure that the permissions are met on all sides. And it is really important for us to get all the information that we need to do the filming. And so if anyone starts to film during our pickup, we must ask them to stop. This is really important because the people that we're helping, the people that we're feeding, are vulnerable populations, and we don't want to film them and publicize them without their permission. So please ensure that anyone that starts filming randomly is going through the proper channels. And number one, they must email info@rescuingleftovercuisine.org with the information of why they're filming, what the purpose of the filming request is, and details like that, so that we can get all the permissions on all sides, make sure that all the protocols and standards of all of our partners, both on the restaurant side and the homeless shelter side, are being met before the filming occurs. And so whenever we have any filming requests, there are some delicate kind of guidelines there that we must meet. But always make sure that we're kept abreast of everything that's happening, and so that all the permissions can be met on all sides. But thank you so much for your cooperation.
Hi, I'm Catherine. I'm the Partner Outreach Director at Rescuing Leftover Cuisine. So my job deals with onboarding new food donor and human service agency partners, and I also work with them to maintain our relationships throughout the partnership. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what we need from you and what's really important to remember when you're doing your deliveries to help us maintain our good relationships with these partners. Since RLC operates at all hours of the day, we want to ensure that our partners aren't packing up their excess food for no reason. So we ask that our lead rescuers help us by committing to ensuring that no food is wasted. All of our partners actually pay us to come by and pick up the food. So it's really important that you please follow these rules to ensure that the food is picked up. The following actions will result in the loss of your lead rescuer designation. Missing one event without notification, because a missed event without notice wastes the time of the volunteers who show up, the efforts of the restaurants packing up the food, and the food that the restaurant packed that could have fed the hungry is now going to waste. Calling out of 3 events consecutively, calling out less than 12 hours before your event twice. So if you know that you can't make it to your event ahead of time, you have to please let us know at least 24 hours before the event, unless in the case of an emergency. Being late more than 2 times to your event, but still being able to complete the event. Being late wastes other volunteers' time, and it also reflects badly on us because we're not able to arrive on time to pick up the food. If you're so late to the event that you miss it all together one time, a discussion will be opened about rescheduling your event. Allowing someone to film or interview anyone from the restaurants or agencies we work with, regardless of their relationship to you. Media requests must be submitted to us for approval before any filming or interviewing can occur on the premises of any restaurant or agency that we partner with. When we don't pick up from our partners and we don't let them know about it beforehand, there are a few things that happen. So first of all, they're less likely to keep working with us. Secondly, other restaurants are less likely to work with us because we're not consistent with picking up the food. Also, valuable food is wasted and not provided to those that really need it. It creates a bad experience for first-time volunteers and discourages them from becoming lead rescuers themselves. And finally, it really affects our human service agency partners, many of which rely on the food that we're providing to them, and they plan their budgets accordingly. Please keep in mind that all of our human service agency partners really rely on the food that we're bringing to them, and oftentimes someone is waiting at the delivery location, and they're there solely for the purpose of accepting the donations. So it's really important that you please arrive on time and that the food actually